Hello, welcome back to Behind the Faders, the live sound channel, in a different setting today. Uh, Festival season is in full swing, at least here in Europe. And if you set up a festival set, communication is really important. And in case of something happening, it's even a lifesaver. Of course, I'm talking about communication between front of house and monitors. Uh, and I see that being overlooked all the times, especially on small festivals. Sometimes they have an intercom, which is not very convenient. I don't like using intercom. At least it's something. And some even just rely on radios. And radios are just useless in this context. A radio, when it's noisy, a band is playing, there's no way you can understand what's being said. So the only proper way to do is using shout boxes. Shout boxes are little self-powered speakers. Here's an example. This is a very common one here, or that one, or that one. So one in front of house, one at the monitor position, so you can talk to each other. Now, of course, you can just use the festival desk to set this up. I mean, you have a talkback anyway that you deliver to the monitor position, so the monitor guy can now just split your incoming signal into one sent to the stage and another sent to his shout box. The other way around, he just plugs in his talkback mic into the plug box into a normal input channel, which now you at front of house can split, or not even split, take it off the mix bus, of course, or now with an aux send or a direct out, you can now send it to your shout box. However, this is not the best way to handle it, because what if you have a guest engineer who has his own file for the desk and he didn't send it upfront by email, something that I always do when I have my own file. And now something goes wrong, maybe with your recall saves, whatever happens, but the desk is overwritten and your communication is gone. Let me tell you a better way. So what you need for this is you need two shout boxes, obviously, and then you need two very small mixing desks. Of course, you can use any mixing desk which is available, but all you need is something like this. These things don't cost a lot, and if you're working with a company that's been around for a while, maybe they have one or two of these somewhere in the farthest corner of the warehouse. What you also need is you need a few analog lines between front of house and monitors, at least two, but I always recommend like maybe a little subsnake cable or so that you might have 4 or 5 or 6 channels just in case. And now that you have that connected, there's still a few different stages of how to handle this. And I don't want to go through all of them. I would just tell you my favorite setup, and you can always downscale from there. If you look at this desk, let's say you plug your front of house mic into channel number 1. And now you can, of course, you could use one of the main outs, left or right, to send it to the monitors, but not in this setup that I'm using. So you use one of the aux sends to send it to the monitors. And in case, I think some of these very small desks have unbalanced aux out. So you might want to use a DI box to balance the signal. And now you send it to the monitors, and now the monitor guy plugs that signal into one of his input channels, sending it to his desk for talk to stage and to his shout box, talk to monitors. And vice versa. Except at front of house, you don't have to split it. You just receive the incoming signal from the monitor guy and you plug it into your shout box. Now you have a communication which is independent from the desks, at least between monitors and front of house. Of course, if the monitor desk malfunctions or something, you can't talk to stage anymore, but you can still talk to the monitor guy. You can even implement a third person into this ring of communication, like the stage manager wearing a headset and an in-ear. That's a very convenient way to work. And by the way, this makes no sense at all until you tried it. When you send your voice to the other person, always dial in your own voice into your own shoutbox a little. Not very loud, just a little. Why? Hard to explain. It feels good to hear your own voice out of it. You know that your microphone is working. So if there's no answer from the other side, you at least know that it's working on your end. It feels good. Try it. The next thing to consider is you want to talk to the stage for sound check, and you want to talk to the monitor guy. Or vice versa. If you're the monitor guy, you want to talk to the band for sound check, and you want to talk to front of house. But then, of course, when the show starts, you don't want to talk to the stage anymore, but you might want to talk to your colleague on the other end of the multicar. There's two ways to set this up, of course. You can have only one mic, and then it's all on the monitor engineer to remember to switch off talk to stage once the show starts. Or you can use two different mics, one being talk to stage and the other is talk to mon. In which case, if you do that, you should make really sure you know which is which. So if I have to do it, it's not my favorite way of doing it, but if I have to do it, I have one of these mics way over here and the other one way over there. And if that's not possible, at least they are color-coded or something, so I really know which is which. I rather use just one mic, but if the monitor engineer asks me to, because he doesn't want to take the responsibility to remembering to switch myself off on the stage, then I will do it. But there's more about the front of house position at least. What I like to do is take this little desk and also run house music through it, and in case there's a host, that mic will also go onto that little desk. Because now, whatever happens, I always have house music, I always have the host, and I always have communication with the monitor engineer. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that. Of course, that requires that you have like a system controller that allows for more than the inputs from the main desk. So at least one. I mean, you can run house music in mono, no problem. So you need an additional input to your system. So the festival desk and the little communication desk are completely separate. And that is my favorite setup. Like I said, you can downscale, you can only use it for communication and not for the rest. I mean, please yourself. If you working on a very small festival, so you don't even have a monitor console, it is still useful to have a shoutbox connection to the stage. Maybe to the guy who does the miking, or the stage manager, or whatever it is. It's a very helpful thing. And I also use it, I don't know, on corporate shows to talk to the guy who does the miking. Yes, we usually have an intercom, but this is just more convenient and quicker. So shout boxes rule when it comes to communication. So now if I forgot anything, again, let me know in the comments, or if you have any further questions, let me know in the comments. And if you have a lot of questions, then consider booking a coaching call. The email address for that is in the video description. That's it for today. Bye-bye.